It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no, and no, ain't got me. Okay, BRB, I need to change your outfit because it's Slay Society time.
Hi, sisters!
So this is part 2 to my harsh truths I wish more women knew about men. And of course, guys, this is not a video about hating men. It is more like just know these things about guys. It is obviously not true for every single one of them, but I think for the vast majority of them, it is true. It is true. But have discernment. Guys, key message for all videos you're watching, have discernment. See, I know all of these things, but I don't go into the dating world. I know I have some merch like this, but it's a joke. I'm not like, oh, that man's terrible, every man is terrible, every man's gonna play me, every man's gonna hurt me, every man is evil. I just have discernment, knowing a lot of guys are like this. And guilty until proven innocent, this is kind of my motto. I think you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Your Honor, defer.
And I decided to make this video again with more points because it blatantly shocks me how many women do not know these
Your
things.
Honor, defer.
A lot of my friends, they're super like love a girl, they're very naive, they often get played by men, and then I will be like, watch this video or read this book, and they start to read it and they're like, I don't want to read it because I feel like it's jading me. And I understand that, but knowing these things doesn't mean that you cannot be soft and nurturing and trusting still. It means you have this in your toolkit so you know if you're being played. That's why you have to have discernment. So go watch part 1 if you haven't. A lot of guys were commenting, especially my friends, and they were saying this is completely true. And these points, while I got them from my own experience, I also collected them from Reddit threads, other YouTube videos made by men, and they definitely relate to the experiences in my life and my girlfriends' lives. Because I'm a data collector. So men tend to take what they can get, even knowing that you're not their wife, or they don't want to be with you. And it's because getting women is genuinely more difficult for a man. Getting sex is more difficult for a man. So if they can get it, you're readily available, you're somewhat attractive, and you're also extremely accessible, why would he let go of you? Men are wired to be hunters. They do not value what is easy to get. And that's unfortunate, because how it should be is that someone innately sees your value and you don't have to do any of these games or do these things to make them value you. You should just innately be valued. But for many guys, it does not work like that. For many guys, they're only going to value you if you have pedestaled yourself and if they can chase that and eventually conquer it. But you have to be careful of guys who just want to conquer you, because sometimes men just want that ego boost. They just want to know, oh, I can get that hot girl. I can get that girl that is so untouchable. And once they get you, gone. A lot of men have confirmed this, that they group women, wife, girlfriend, casual, I don't even remember the categories. But a lot of it is based on the fact that some men, some, not a lot, see women through the lens of Madonna whore complex. What is Madonna whore complex? The Madonna, she's nurturing, she's caring, she's very loving, sweet. She's not overly sexual. And then the whore is this dirty, sexual woman. And a lot of guys, they cannot see women as being both things. So they're either grouped as the whore or the Madonna, which is why some men, they will not do extremely dirty things with their wife. They would go and cheat and do it to another woman instead, because she is seen as the whore, and a woman cannot be both things in their mind. I am not sure how common this is with men. I only know 2 people like this. My advice is to try to stay away from guys who perceive women to be like this, and you can tell from their dating history or how they talk about women in general if they have this view on them. If you're confused, he doesn't like you. When a man knows what he wants, he goes for it. He makes it very, very clear. And also, if he values you, he's not going to do anything to risk losing you. A man that risks losing you, my theory is he actually wants you to leave him. He doesn't know how to hold you. And this can go back to the first video, where it's not like an issue with you per se, it can be an issue with him. He's insecure, he's subconsciously sabotaging, and guess what? It's not for you to figure out. And the best way to ensure that you're having a secure relationship and you are attracting the best people, and to have discernment as well, guys, is through getting to know yourself. It is through doing the inner work. And it's through getting a therapist. There is so much stigma surrounding therapy. People still find it to be so embarrassing, even though there's videos like mine. I've made like whole vlogs about getting therapy and depression and etc. And there's still stigma around it. In fact, 37% of Gen Z believed that those who sought out counseling were mentally weak. And if you're an avid social media user, meaning more than 4+ hours per day, which I think you are, you're then even 45% more likely to believe the previous fact. This needs to change. In fact, back in the day when I was 18, the first time I experienced depression, it took me 2 years to get therapy because I just thought, I'm gonna get over it myself. My therapist will not understand me. And yeah, 37% of people think their therapist doesn't understand them. But it just took me taking that one step to realize it's not that scary. I'm not weak for doing it. It made me a stronger person. It improved all my relationships. It improved the relationship with myself. It made me smarter. It made me make better YouTube videos. And that is what broke the barrier for me. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I love when someone is like, I'm doing therapy. Good for you, Glen Coco. And going back to, oh, my therapist doesn't understand me. Guys, what do I say every video? Therapy is like dating, like, hello. That's why my paid partner today, BetterHelp, they actually allow you to change therapists for free of charge. If you're doing in-person therapy, you need to go get a new referral. You need to go to the office and wait, and then try a different therapist. And it's so expensive and time consuming. And BetterHelp, I just need to change my therapist. It's free. I don't like that therapist. I get a new one. Trial and error. BetterHelp tries to remove all barriers to therapy. They're even the ones who commissioned the survey with the statistics I'm giving you. BetterHelp is super accessible. You can get matched with a therapist in as little as 48 hours once you've filled out the questionnaire. Then you can do a video call, you can call them, or you can message them anytime that works for you from the comfort of your own home. It's way more affordable than traditional therapy, and they even have financial aid available. This year, make it a resolution to get therapy, or even just try therapy. Just use my code SIMONE² to get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, and then see if you like therapy. Just try it. There is nothing to be ashamed about. Only good can come out of it. There are literally no downsides to it. A lot of women think that if they sleep with a guy, he's going to fall in love with him. Women can fall in love through sex because it's intimate and we release oxytocin. Men do not. Men fall in love through vasopressin, stress. They can compartmentalize sex. That's why women, in order to have good sex, we need emotional intimacy, we need emotional safety. Men, they get turned on just by staring at a woman. It's very, very different. A lot of guys will argue that all men don't just want one thing, and we all know what that one thing is. And yes, that might be true, but they are wired differently. Even if he says, I don't care about it, he cares about it. And he still wants it from you. I think it's always best to hold out on that until you know that he is a good partner for you. Because there are so many more risks for women when it comes to having sex than a man. We can literally get pregnant. With pregnancy come a bunch of risks. You even want that guy to be the father of your child. So try not to sleep with a guy unless either you really want to or you know he's a good partner for you. That's why a lot of people have the 3-month rule. I don't really like rules. I tend to go based off my own discernment and what I innately feel. But if you're someone who struggles with that, then try to use this rule. 3 months, see how much they change. Some people change a lot after 3 months because at the beginning, guys are doing everything to get you. And then they can switch up. A man can be in a relationship with you and be unhappy and still not break up with you. And that goes back to an earlier point where it is harder for them to have sexual relations, to find a good woman. So if he knows that you are doing a lot for him, even if he's not that happy, he might just keep you around, and he might actually have you as a placeholder until he finds his wife. You know that shirt we have on Slay Society, never let your boyfriend stop you from finding your husband? A lot of guys have that mentality, never let your girlfriend stop you from finding your wife. Men will rise to meet your standards. It's not the other way around. If you accept him not being consistent, you don't call him out on it, if you accept him taking you on these cheap dates, if you accept him booty calling you at 10 p.m. at night, he's going to continue to do those things. And some guys even will test your boundaries purposely to see how much they can play with you, to see how much you will tolerate. Especially if you're a woman who's quite threatening, you're extremely beautiful, you're successful, they would do this even more so because it's almost like an ego boost to them. This is if they're fragile. If they haven't slept with you, they will tell you everything you want to hear in order to get what they want. You should never believe words, you should believe actions. And unfortunately, a lot of guys and people in general, they're not self-aware. So they may genuinely believe these things they're telling themselves and telling you. He might be saying, I am going to change. I am not like this. I want to prove to you I'm not like this. But if his actions are consistently over time showing that he is this way, he is not only just fooling you, he is fooling himself. A woman increasing her effort towards a man or increasing her interest is not going to make him more interested. There is nothing you can do to change a man's mind about you. You can post that hot selfie. You can make yourself more available or less available. It's not really going to change. He knows quite early on how he feels about you. And it is not up to you to make someone see your value. I have a lot of important points in the first video that goes into psychological concepts, so I encourage you to watch that. But some people are just not a match. I used this analogy in one of my older videos that actually has been quite popular now and a lot of people have been using it. But Rory Gilmore, in Gilmore Girls, Logan, her boyfriend, who was a billionaire, gave her a Birkin. She didn't know what a Birkin was, so she was like throwing it around. And he said, Rory, that's a Birkin. It means nothing to her. She doesn't know what a Birkin is. If he gave that bag to someone who knew what a Birkin was, would that girl be throwing it around? Like, probably not. Some people just can't see your value. And guess what? When someone sees your value and you're a match with them, then they won't let you go, if they're smart. Men need permission to be vulnerable. They are not emotional like us. They are socialized to not be emotional, to see emotions as threat, to not even trust their own emotions, to be stoic. So as a woman, if you want your man to be more emotional, you need to create that safe space for him and be a little bit vulnerable yourself first. Because they're socialized to hide their emotions, it can often lead to emotional unavailability and immature behavior. And it's not up to you to fix this. If a man has done the work, he's going to have this discernment, just like you, to know when to open up, to know when it is safe to do so. If a man is just protecting his feelings from everybody, he's not going to have any real relationships. A man can be with you and not even like you. There is a story in my first video I told you guys about where this guy that I went on like a couple of dates with, he was talking really badly to my friend about this other girl he was seeing. He really didn't respect her. He ended up falling in love with her, and I have this theory that you can fall in love with anyone simply by proximity and emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. So that's what happened with him. Yet, he was always like, I'm never going to marry her. I don't even really like her. Yet he was somehow in love with her. A lot of women don't understand the value when it comes to dating. If you are a beautiful woman, simply by being next to this man, you're going to make him look better. We talked about this TikTok we saw where this guy was in business class with his wife. His wife was not conventionally attractive. And all the comments, they were not praising him for being in business class, they were ridiculing him for having an unattractive woman. Looks, an attractive woman, is before money even, especially in the eyes of other men. So think about how much you're increasing his social value simply by being around him. There are some men that have absolutely no interest in you apart from what they can get from you and what you're going to do from them. I had this friend back in the day and he would have a lot of women who would come to his house, sleep with him, and then clean his house, and then cook him food, meal prep for him, and he never dated any of them. And they were okay with that. He ended up marrying someone with very, very high standards, and he liked her because he had to rise to meet her standards. And she did not let him walk all over her. If a man doesn't respect you, he doesn't respect you. The only way you will get him to respect you is actually by walking away from him and not looking back. Because guys are not oblivious. They know how they are treating you. If you are someone who portrays yourself as incredibly high value, I have very high standards, and he comes, he tests you, you allow those things, he almost can feel accomplished that he did this to a woman who he thought would never accept this behavior. So it's not going to change. He's not going to suddenly change his behavior unless you walk away, and then, guilty until proven innocent, allow himself to prove himself to you. If a guy is too good at rizzing you, there is a reason. He probably has a lot of experience with women. I remember there was a guy I really liked, one of the only guys I ever liked. I complained about he acted like he's never been in the presence of a woman before. And while it was mildly endearing, it was also annoying because he didn't know the things he had to do. And my guy friend said, okay, Simone, either you have a guy who's really good at rizzing you, he knows everything he has to do, or you have a man like this, which means he probably has not been with a lot of women, and he's probably not having these ulterior motives towards you because he's not putting on an act to get anything. What one do you prefer? And that changed my perspective on things. Timing is more important for a man than a woman. Women, we tend to fit men into our lives. If we meet the love of our life, we're not going to be like, hey, I'm not ready, I'm not rich enough, like, go away. We're going to fit them into our life and make room. For men, timing is very important. So if they do not feel like they're financially secure, they don't feel like they're stable, they can provide for you, they probably are not going to date you. But if you're a temporary woman in their eyes, they will keep you around. Nobody is too busy to reply to your text. Nobody, even your friend. So if he hasn't messaged you or replied in 24 hours, goodbye. He does not like you that much. Last video I mentioned this and there was some guys in the comments like, some of us have jobs. Dude, I dated a guy once who ran a huge company and had 100 employees. He would reply to me in 2 seconds. Every time I texted him, I would play this game where I would go 1, 2, 3, by two, he was typing. And that's what happens when somebody cares and somebody doesn't want to lose you. Some men will love bomb you to feign intimacy, and they're only doing it to ego boost themselves. Way back in the day, there was this guy who was love bombing me, and then he disappeared after 3 days. And I remember the reels he was liking was coming up on my feed later. And it was all like, when you love bomb this girl and she thinks she's gonna stay, but you really miss your ex. And he liked so many of these videos that I kind of realized he was just looking for validation from other women to fill this void of his ex. Because so many guys, they do not process a breakup. They tend to just push the pain down, move on. Meanwhile, they're still in love with their ex. They haven't really done the work. And they will come back. Some guys will come back and check on you every couple of months just to make sure they still got their hooks in you. Coming back is not a compliment unless that person has changed and they've come back with a sincere apology. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out Slay Society. I know shipping says 10 to 30 days. Usually it's less. Some orders in America come in 2 days, in Europe sometimes 3 days. It's really such a crapshoot. Everything is tracked. Free shipping over 2 items, and I will see you guys next video. Ich liebe dich. Tschüss. You're in the eye, I like the fight, and the summer fades away. Nothing open today. You right back to me, make it like you're beautiful and I'm insane. We're American made. Give me call art. One drink on the one make me happy and blue. Norman, Rockwell, no high under, I'm inside. It's just me and you. Oh, come to my this. It's you and me. I'm sure never kiss. So now I think you're in the eye, I like the fight, and the summer fades away. You right back to me, make it like American made. Oh yeah. So now I'm back to this. Yeah. Oh yeah. So now I'm back to this. Oh, come to my lips. It's really kind of slick. I'm super never kiss. So now I'm back to this. Yeah. So now I'm back to this. Over and over, honey. You are my love. If you are my love, each other's our love. You are my love.